The forks and spoons that we found in our last digging adventure. Several of them looked like they were at least silver plated or something. And you never know, maybe there's a sterling silver one in. They're kind of corroded, so we're getting marks off them. They're pretty hard. But we're going to try and test it out and see if there's a silver one or not. This is a magnet off my fridge. It's the only one I have at the moment. So it will have to do. This spoon here looks pretty modern, and I suspect it's metal. And the magnet lifts it. Yeah, that one's definitely not silver. Put that down. And then let's just try the next one. So, no, magnet does not stick. Magnet not sticking. Magnet not sticking. And magnet not sticking. So that's a good sign. But I think that with silver plate, they probably plated over copper. So we're going to have to dig a little deeper. So I have some sandpaper and a file, and we're going to try and see if we can dig a little deeper. This top one really looks copper. It looks like copper exposed. So we're just going to try and file that and see if it's gives us a little bit better color and indication. I think I'll just pause and get back to it. Well, I used the file and sanded with the sandpaper, and it's exposed this really nice pattern, but I think it could be silver because it's definitely not yellow like maybe brass or copper, but it was kind of coated, so I'm just not sure. It's not magnetic, so I think that this one, it could be silver. I think this one will have to get acid tested. So that's promising. Let's move on to the next one. So this spoon here, again, looks pretty corroded. There's greenish. And I'm going to try and sand it down and see if anything can be exposed in writing or anything. And we'll bite a little deeper into it and see if it looks like it's silver or not. Spoon 2. I sanded it a little bit. I used the file. There's definitely no markings. It's not nice and elaborate like the other one. But it does have a silver shine to it. I've removed that top reddish whatever layer, and it shines. It's fairly soft. It's not magnetic. So again, I think it could be silver. Okay, now we'll move on to the next item, which is this fork. It's same thing, green tarnish. It's just hard to say. It's not magnetic. So we're going to clean it up, see if there's any writing. Then I'm going to take the surface off and see what it looks like. Okay, first fork. Not really any designs or anything, but scuffing off. It looks pretty nice and shiny. Silver color. So I'm just kind of a miss here. I just don't know. The top one almost looks like maybe it has a yellowish tinge. But they just shine up nice. I'm not sure what other kinds of materials they would have made knives and forks of back in the day. But they're looking pretty promising so far. Let's move on to the last fork. Maybe it'll give us a better indication. We'll see. It looks pretty good. Is that some writing? Okay, fork number 2. Again, this one cleaned off nicely. There is a nice little kind of design. There's no corroded, it's just hard to see any kinds of writing. Like on that fork, I think that is probably some writing, but there's no way to rig it. Now, this is exposed as silver looking, but it maybe has a yellowish tinge, so maybe it's kind of brass or some type of alloy or something, kind of like the top spoon. So I think but these two are really quite silver looking. I think I'm going to take them outside and we're going to see if I can have a better look and see if the color is a little bit more noticeable and what's what. Well, in the light, I can see a little bit better. And this fork here says Rogers Triple, some other things or whatnot. So it's the one that I think maybe is most likely to be silver. This fork kind of has a yellowish tinge in the light. The spoon is still really nice and shiny. This big spoon definitely has some sort of a yellowish tinge, so it must be some kind of brass or something like that. Well, I think that's the best I can do for now until I can take them and have them tested after the coronavirus is finished, hopefully. But I thought it was neat, and I think I'm on to something here, and it's worth to keep the little silverware pieces that we find when we're digging. Anyway, God bless, and thank you. Please subscribe.